Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Nomadic Survival here in Space Engineers, where today the plan is to continue on with that Mega Rover. As you can see, I've made a little bit of progress. Don't worry, I'll explain to you everything. I'll also explain to you why the title of this video is what it is. You'll learn very quickly. But first, I want to talk about the little experiment that I did at the start of last video. You guys are unaware? I asked every single one of you to leave a comment, to like the video, just do some things to see how the YouTube algorithm would react. And oh boy, did you guys listen. It was quite mad indeed. I've got a couple of pictures or screenshots I'll take here, which just show a couple of things from the video itself. So the first one here is the number of subscribers gained from that video alone. So yeah, 42 subscribers gained from this one video. First of all, that is insane. Second of all, that is still not all of you, so you better come and do it now. I'm joking. But no, we still have a lot of people not subscribed, which I know for whatever reason they do, they don't, that's fine. But by you guys doing that, you know, however many of you commented, I'm not quite sure. But I tried to reply to as many as I could. You guys asked me some interesting questions. I tried to answer them as best as I could. May or may not have leaked some little secrets I have upcoming plans, but you know, if you guys want to find them, you'll have to look through the comments. But yeah, also just other bits and pieces which, if you don't do YouTube, you probably don't understand, but YouTube has a thing called reach. Reach is basically just, hey, how is the community, or how are people in, you know, that are watching your videos, how are they reacting to it? Are they watching it through? Are they clicking on it and then deciding, oh no, I don't actually like it, and clicking off it? That's basically what reach is. If you get a good reach, it will sort of send it to more people. So this particular video, I believe it got around 30,000 people. So it basically, what it did was it either put them on its homepage or recommended it to 30,000 people. And from about 30,000 people, about 1,500 of you guys clicked on the video, which is quite cool. As that to a normal video, it can range anywhere from 10 to 15, 20,000. So about a 10,000 increase just by all you commenting. So it's quite a big difference. And then there was just other sort of things like the average view duration of a video, so the watch hours and all that was much higher. All I can say, conclusion to this whole thing, after I've rambled on for however long, it makes a difference. So if you guys want to help me out, the best thing you can do without spending any money yourself is comment on the video, like the video, and just watch the video. That's literally all I can say. It means so much to me. I love all of you guys. If we've had so many new new people watch or come to the channel, watch the videos, all that kind of stuff. Hello to all of you. Welcome. And without further ado, let's get on to that behemoth monster thing, which this was a project. But we need to get on to the nomadic adventure, which means we need to get onto the road, which means we need to finish this thing. How much fuel have I got? Plenty. Good. So, I have, first of all, done something I said I wouldn't do. I have redesigned all the suspensions. So, yeah. You may notice the suspension looks a little bit different. Yes, that's because I've torn everything out and I've rebuilt it. So this design is stronger because it uses closer to a wishbone, so it has 4 hinges and then it connects to actually 6 hinges on this side, so you see 3 across. So first of all, it makes it stronger. If you lose, you know, part of the arm, the other half can 100% counteract it. But the main reason for doing this whole thing was because the weight of this vehicle, because it's all heavy armor, at the moment this vehicle is about 10 million kilograms, I want to say. That, give me I'll show you all, I'll explain all this in a second. I've also added a staircase. Let's have a look. I think 11, almost 11.2 as a dry mass. It's quite a heavy boy. And believe it or not, this game was, or the physics engine in this game may not have been designed quite for me to build this. And what the wheels were basically doing were, it would have a bit of a camber, a little camber inwards, which I don't think would have affected anything, but for me personally, it just gave me a little bit of And then also when you actually look closer on the hinges themselves, the actual hinge head was starting to stick through this yellow bit. So much weight and force was being pushed on just the one hinge on each one. Because obviously the bottom one, that's in tension, and the top one will be in compression. So the top is wanting to push this bar into that as much as possible, where this one is wanting to force it out because these wheels want to move upwards. Where now, to be able to do that, it has to push 3 hinges. So it just makes it a lot stronger, and it should work a lot better. And the other thing I've done to this suspension is I've completely ditched the wheels. So I know in the end of the last video, I was designing better wheel systems. And don't get me wrong, they were great. And they would work. But the only way to get this whole design to work would be to put the wheels on the 2 outer ones. If I put one in the middle, it just wouldn't be strong enough. I needed more than one suspension to hold the weight of this thing. So it required me to instead use the actual strength of the velocities. All of these, when the blocks will be on, are set to maximum. So that's on every single one of these, and then it's torqued. And these are in counter directions from each other. So when this is like, I guess whatever it would be, yeah. So when that's 30 RPM going downwards, it's actually 30 RPM going upwards, which means they work together. And it just means it's a very, very strong, rugged suspension. And I think it looks cool. I don't know about you, but I think it looks cool. And it also allowed me to design the armor a bit better. I've redesigned some of the bottom to make it fit nicer. I've been designing a lot of this top bit. And I've also, you may have noticed, welded up a load of the back section of this whole build. Which, don't worry, I have a little progress report, geez, not a school. A little picture montage thing, showing all that getting done. It took a while. It took a long time. I'm gonna show it on screen now, and then when we come back, I'll show what resources we have left. So if I scroll through the list, you'll see I do have a lot more parts now than I used to. I still have a decent amount of iron, which you may notice it completely goes into the opposite thing. But the only reason I have a lot of iron, you also see a lot of the cobalt smelted, is because I rebuilt this drill to dig deeper. So this was just a stone quarry basically for me, to be able to get enough iron to keep building this thing, because we went through 1 million iron in like no time. Yeah, this build is demanding, but it's been fun. Honestly, it has been fun. But now what I want to do, actually, what I'll first do is explain what I've actually built here. So I was really humming and hawing about the design I was going to go for this build. And I think I'm going to go into spectator just to make it a bit easier to be able to see. So, honestly, I was struggling for a good couple of days how I would design this. It's the point where I actually just got a pen and pencil and came up for sketch. And this is kind of what I've come up with. So, the front of this, we've got a viewing window just here. A lot of heavy armor. All this is heavy armor. You'll see I've sort of increased the lip so it gets a little bit wider. And then we have 3 gates here. So this one, and this one. And you see they're a block offset from each other, but they perfectly sort of line up with this design. And this is where I'm going to put my small ship bays. So all of my ships can fit in one of these gates. So it looks kind of cool. They'll be able to park up here, dock up, and everything's nice. I did consider putting each of the connectors on a rotor. So what would happen is you would park your thing in. When you got out the seat, the ship would just auto turn. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I'm still considering it. Let me know if you want to see that. But these, we have 6 bays. So obviously we'll have one of them for the mining ship. We'll have a couple of the others. In this section here, I've built a couple of advanced rotors, and then through this bit you'll see we've got some piping, which goes to another one on both sides, and then all along this part, which is now inside the ship. Oh, it's dark. We've got conveyor points, runs all the way through, and this obviously is my connection floor. So this is the main line which goes through the ship, and it breaks off each of the parts. And then each of the connectors have ports on each side. So it's just a lot of lining up stuff. In this particular part, it's still sort of 2 half blocks thick of heavy armor, so it's pretty dense. I'm not too worried about making the roof of this insanely armored. Whoops, I nearly dropped my phone. I'm not too worried, because obviously it's going to be shielded. The main sort of bit I wanted a lot of my heavy armor was the main superstructure of this ship, so it wouldn't just, rover, so it wouldn't snap in half, but also all of this bottom section. So if it's, I scrape the ground a little bit, it shouldn't just absolutely detonate everything. But you'll have to let me know what you think of this design. I know this is obviously the 3rd suspension, and I've had people commenting throughout all of the videos where I've been doing all the suspension that my designs are really cool. I can't wait to see how they turn out. And basically, each video, I'm just starting them with, hey, I've built a new suspension because the previous one isn't going to work. It's been a long day. Or a long week, should I say. And then in this section here, we're going to be placing our larger carrier ships. So I've got plenty of space across this bit to carry 2 of them. And then we've got the space in the center, which is where we're going to store all of my cargo. Back here is where we're going to store the hydrant. I had to destroy all the temporary placements just so I can get everything welded up in the right spot. And then I've also started working out this back section, which I think I'm going to have like this sort of dual thing here. I haven't decided if I want to put a ramp or like a lift or something in here so we can carry ships. I don't think I want to. I still want to have the arms down here to pick up ships, so I just have to work out how that's going to look on both sides. And you may notice I have a a rotor here, like I said, on either side. My plan is to put some guns sticking on the front, and then also some guns here sticking on the front. And then I don't know if I want to put guns on each one of these parts. I don't know if I'll have space, or put guns on the sides, but I am definitely going to make or build some guns on these parts. So you see here, we have a nice little ray section for a weapon. I think I'm going to place one sort of in the center, and then another one at the end, so we'll have a couple on each side, and then we'll probably definitely have some on the top. So this thing is going to be quite heavily armed, no matter what. I also want to put my main bridge somewhere around this section, so I'm thinking about having one of them sort of really angled slopes. I mean, it sticks up a little bit and it sort of goes pretty much all across this top section. Yeah, and I think I'll probably have some weaponry along this side. I might have some weaponry along this top part. I, again, haven't decided. But all this is heavy armor. All of this part, you may be able to notice the difference, is light armor, because that's what I'm actually going to do. Don't worry, this entire build isn't going to be heavy armor, otherwise it will literally cost $10 million to produce, and it'll also weigh an absolute ton. So yeah, we're going to build all the way along here. And yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Please tell me we're getting there. But no, we are. We're certainly making progress. And I'm trying to make these videos sort of filling. I don't want to just do the same old repeated thing each time, but you know, you guys did kind of sign up for it. I did say if you want me to do this, it would be a lot of building, and believe it or not, it's a lot of building. So we need to put 1600 steel plates in there like that. We gotta fill that with that, and then we're gonna have to place a load in there, and I can already tell I'm gonna need to build a lot more. So we're gonna build another 10,000 of that, and probably another like 50,000 steel plates. Concerned about that. Are we gonna have some droney boys attack me again? That'd be funny. Well, not funny, but you know what I mean. So let's get all of this welded. This is how I've decided not to add a ramp to the front. I just decided it would be a little bit too weird. I've also noticed I've built this in a different paint color, which is also interesting. But yeah, we're getting there. And I've said it in a lot of videos, but I'm just going to make it clear now, because again, that's another thing I had a load of comments on, is I always get loads of people asking me if I can upload my blueprints to the workshop. And unfortunately, like I've told a lot of people, I can't at the moment. For whatever reason, my Steam account is preventing me from being able to upload them. So it comes up with an error. So if I was to... I don't think I can do it from in. I can. Okay, that's fun. Let's say I wanted to publish this design. I want to publish it, and it's a rover, and I want to publish it to Steam. It will come up with an error message. There we go. So I get that error all the time. I've tried it on my alt account, my alt Steam account, and it works. So that is on this PC, just changing my Steam account, so it's the exact same version and install location of the game. So I know it's 100% not my game installation. It's not like I'm missing files or anything, or at the update or anything like that. It's something to do with my Steam account. Now, I'm contacting the actual Steam support team to see if they can work out what might be wrong with it and why this issue is occurring. My backup solution is I will just use my alt account to upload the things to the Steam workshop, but it's not ideal, and I'm trying to get this thing fixed before I say for certain if I'm going to do that or not. It's just very annoying, because I understand a lot of you guys are like, you build really cool designs and stuff, and you want, or I build cool designs and you want to be able to mess around with them. And if I could, I would upload absolutely everything I built. But like I said, at the moment, I'm having a lot of problems, so I can't do that. I hope that makes sense, and again, I apologize, even though it's not like it's anything I can really do. But we move, we survive. I can at least show them in videos, so you'll be able to get some inspiration for your designs. It's just obviously not ideal. So that's that front section designed, and you can see I didn't want it just to be a completely flat ramp. I added a couple of ridges, and I think that looks really cool. And then time to weld up all this front section. So I built the front section sort of mirrored to what the bottom was, with like a layer in the middle. I think I'm going to set this middle layer to almost like a different colour, just to add a little bit of accent, because currently the entire thing is black, or very, very dark grey. And that's not the final colour for this build, it's just a nice colour to you know, a base color basically. But it's not. I'm not planning on keeping this the same color for the entire time. I will work on the color. Don't worry. But we'll get there, step by step. There's a lot of stages to this build. Now, I've got another question for you guys, actually. I was considering at some point doing a little bit of a Q&A, either where I do it as like a live stream, which I've never done before, so don't expect this a live stream to be absolutely amazing. But I've considered doing a live stream, and I've considered doing a Q&A in that live stream where you guys can send me comment or send me questions and I answer them. Basically, it could be anything about the game, or it could be about me. I probably won't answer anything personal, but you know what I mean. So I'll doing something like that, or I might do it where it's like, hey, next video I'm gonna answer a lot of questions. Put your questions in the comment and I'll talk through them in future ones, something like that. What do you guys think about the idea? Do you think that's a good idea, or do you think that's a bad idea? Let me know. Because this boy gets so many random ideas in his head, he doesn't know if it's a good or a bad idea. But you never know if you don't try. Tell you what, if I didn't have this welding ship, I would be utterly screwed. Because there would be physically no way I would weld each of these blocks up by hand. No way. Oh yeah, you want to know something else fun about this build? Pretty much in every angle, apart from I guess the roof, there's going to be between 3 or 4 layers of heavy armor blocks before you get to any of the innards. So pretty much the only weapon that can pen this vehicle in one shot is a railgun. I think that may be slightly overkill, but I also think that is very cool. Obviously it can be penned if it gets shot enough, you know, and it actually breaks in, tunnels in. But I don't think that's going to happen. Also, this entire grid just slid. That's fun. I've noticed it has been moving slightly. It's not Clang related. Or it might be Clang related. I don't know. I think it's because the weight shifts enough, and because it's not like on just the pillars, it like tilts. But it's funny. It's funny. Whilst I was doing some testing, well, this whole rover was basically over where that welded hole bit is. It's slid back a little bit, purely just because when I've been messing around with the suspension, it has been driving backwards. And before I noticed it, it had gone by quite a distance, so that was fun. Am I out now? At a bad angle. It's fun. It's fun. You may notice this video I'm doing quite a lot of just general talking whilst welding up these blocks. I'm kind of, again, experimenting with different ways of showing this footage. Obviously I could do it in a time-lapse with some music. And maybe that's a better way of doing it, because it allows you to make a lot more progress in a lot shorter period of time. But I don't know, it's a difficult one for me really, because I do like talking. I was talking to one person, I apologise for not being able to remember the name. We've got drones coming our way. Droney boys. Droney boys. I'm gonna hide under my rover. Oops. Protect me, heavy armor. Protect me. There's one dead. And there's the other one basically dead. Oh, he's survived it. He's taken a couple of shots. Just notice this one is slowly crashing to the ground. Oh, don't hit my turret. Oof. Oof. I love the fact that I have defenses. Yeah. Whoa. Oh, 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 that full barrage of all of them guns hit that drone directly. That boy is going down. Oh, another direct hit. Yep, it did. Oh, don't waste your bullets. Don't. There we go. He's dead. He's dead. He's already dead. Stop shooting him. Ugh. Looks like we have a turret disabled, unfortunately. And what's about my other turret? Oh, 2 turrets are disabled. Okay. But what, we still have 3 operational? Yeah. And we still have the base. Ooh, you shot my roof. You dinted my roof. Can't believe you'd do such a thing. Didn't damage any of my fuel. No, that's all good. My drill's still good. Don't think they shot me ship. Nope. Very good. That was fun. I've had some people asking me, why don't I sort of build underground? Well, partially because it's a nomadic survival series, so the whole plan is for me to be moving. I know that I've been on the ground or in that base for the last however many episodes, but I did say at the start of this series I wanted to be very laid back with the rules. I like to set myself a lot of rules, mainly because it gives me a bit of a challenge, but for this particular one I didn't want to go too like ultra hard on myself, so I decided to go quite laid back, allowed myself to build ground bases, but wanted this series to be this kind of design and make myself a big rover, basically. I just wanted to build a big rover, and I thought a nomadic survival would be a fun way of doing it, alright? And I am enjoying myself, so I can't say that I was wrong with my decision. These are going to need a lot of work in the entrances. I can technically add half blocks to each side, which I'm going to be doing. They don't need to be as big as they are. But you'll have to let me know what you think about this kind of design where it's like the gates and stuff. I really like it. Really like it. And then this roof as well. I didn't want to make it overly tall, because I feel like this rover is already quite tall, so I wanted to make it quite low profile on the top. But, you know, it's such a big surface area of this rover that I don't really need to build height. I have quite a lot in just width. So, yeah, it's getting there. It's going to take a lot. You know what? I am going to do this as a bit of a time lapse. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy the time lapse. Ice and flames call my name. I freeze, I burn, I blame. I love, I hate the same.
of my power. History in halves, one brain. I will break the chain. Oh no, tokori wa yobu. Moeru rame koru to boku no ai to kirai ni iru. Oh no, tokori wa yobu. Moeru rame koru to boku no ai to kirai ni iru. I love, I hate this city.
Alright, so we've made a decent amount of progress here. As you can see, all of this front section has been welded, which gives you a bit more of an idea of the shape. I think it looks pretty good. It needs a bit of work, but I think it's looking pretty good. We've got our weaponry points there. Now, I designed this front section. You notice in the middle it goes forward a bit more. That was because I was contemplating sort of making this all flap. I really don't know how I want this to look. And it's annoying me. I did contemplate adding solar panels onto it. I did contemplate adding turrets onto here. But I don't know. If I was going to add turrets, that means I would have to add conveyor lines, which would probably go down here, which is possible. It's why I chopped these out. But I don't know. I don't know. Oh, stop asking me. I don't know. And then my other design, my other thing was, I don't know whether I should go straight across here, or whether I should push these 2 or 3 blocks forward, a little bit like how I've done this section. And then do I add a turret in here? I kind of think like I should. Like, let's see, there we go. So this is obviously the standard Gatling. We've got a new Gatling gun. I was really thinking I should, I can't actually show up, there we go. Because this is obviously, this is 5 wide. So I could add one in the center. I also could, which one's a big one? They're all the same size. Okay, I actually didn't know they all fit into a 3x3. I thought one of them was a 5x5. Interesting. Also, we're still on save episode 25, even though this is episode 26. That's fun. Also, I need to just sort out how I got random heavy armor going into the middle. I don't need it. It's a bit of a waste of stuff, and it goes forward here as well, so we've got a lot to do. Oh, we have so much to do. I also haven't done any of this. And I think we only have about, well, we have 10 hours of battery life in here until we'll have to change it out. Oh, actually, that brings on to an interesting question. One of the questions I got in the latest, or in the last video, was, do I plan on using a stone generator to power this rover? Now, I've never heard of a stone generator. I can guess, oh, that's not old. I can guess what it is. As in, if you refine stone, you will get nickel, iron, and silicon. Using that, you can process in a assembler and produce power cells, of which then you can build a battery, weld up that battery, which gives you an amount of starting power. You then empty that battery, grind down the battery, and then build a new battery, and the system repeats. I don't know if that system is a loss of energy or an actual increase. I have not tested it, but that's the only thing I can think of when someone says, are you planning on using a stone generator to power it? Because obviously, my plan is to use hydrogen and the power of the sun. I want to put solar panels on the top of this, and I'm thinking, I have no idea where I'm going to shove them. That's what I'm thinking. Driving me nuts. What's this? This is half block. This is a full block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, if it's one. Keen, if you're listening, you need to build some. I love these solar panels, but you need to build some solar panels that are 3 long, not 4. It would make my life so much more amazing and easy. Please do it. What do I think of something like that? And then you would, I guess, have your heavy armor running along this part. So what if I did something like this? And I guess doing something like this does sacrifice pure strength for, I guess, almost aesthetics, but also just looking cooler and working, like actually having power, stuff like that. So what do I think of something like that? And then I guess you'd place full heavy armor blocks there. So obviously it makes this whole section here a weak spot, because if you pen through that, there is no armor beneath it. Where if I did it on the block above, I could at least add armor beneath it. Do I like the sort of slanted back? I do as well, to be honest. Okay. I think I've come up with a bit of a design. Because then a trick here, what I can do is do something like that and something like that. Then these stop looking so much like ribs and actually just look like they're part of the armor, which I'm all for.
Low.
So it'd be a little bit like that, a little bit like that. It'd be quite a sharp transition to there, which I'm actually okay with, because I still want a bit of difference between them. I guess I like seeing that it's a different section, because obviously it continues down, but it just flows. It does just flow.
No energy.
Drafts. I need that for like seeing and stuff. And living. Living's an important one. So that gets that like that. Which then allows me to basically... No. Oh, I have no idea what the placement of this is supposed to be like. Guess that would be the back. Yes. We could place 3 of these. And then another 3. So that could look like that. They do stick up quite high. That's the only thing I'm immediately seeing with that. I'm not going to weld any of this up. I want to see what your guys' opinion is. Is having the turrets this high a good thing or a bad thing? Obviously, they'll have plenty of arc to be able to look around. Or do I ditch one of the panels and hide them a bit deeper into this section here, where they could be a little bit more, they basically could be a block lower, so the top would be around that line there. That is a hard one. And then I've also got all of this to build if that's the case. Ooh. However, if I'm continuing this design, I can technically place 2 panels here and here. Because the armor is going that way, which means it will fit. But it will fit. I think. I know it'd be like one. I can make it fit. So you would actually get, what, 12 panels. And then this section, I would have pretty much this space, so whatever. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7-ish. 7 blocks, yeah, like that. Which I don't know if I'm going to make out of heavy armor or light armor. I haven't decided that one either. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, the whole base is leaning again. We're on a boat. And a boat to be a rockin'. I could add light armor here. I've got heavy armor directly under it, so if one of these blocks gets destroyed, there's no real harm. So I can add heavy armor to the center, just so it's got some strength to it. But then I can add light armor to these. Like that. And then light armor to these sections. And then another line of heavy armor here. So it looks something like that. That's obviously not now going to look like this. However, I don't really know how it's going to look, so I'm not really building it. Where's our center point? I think it's here, isn't it? Yeah. So if the center point is there, that means let's add our cargo back. Oh, that's all the hydrogen I've got. 135. Okay. Let's go and fly back to the base and get some more hydrogen. I'm probably not gonna want this here. And I'm probably not gonna want this here, because I'm gonna want to armor it up. And I think the best way of armoring it up is like how I did it on the other side, is just add blast doors. These don't deform if they take damage, so they're a nice way of making a wall. Like that. which then means I could also do it on the other side. So, oh no, why? Why would you unload the world? How much progress have I lost? That's a question. I was building that. Well, that's fun. And what I was gonna say is, before I got so rudely interrupted, is I was gonna place another layer of heavy armor just like that, just like I've done on the other side, just to make these columns a bit thicker. And then you place these in here. So this gives you a nice platform to build some ships. And as you can probably tell, these aren't going to be little small ships. Well, they are small grid, but they're going to be quite powerful little boys. They're not going to be the exact width of this. They're going to fit in the middle, and there's going to be obviously space in front and behind, but I wanted just to give it plenty of space, and it lines up perfectly with the middle. So if you notice, that back wall lines up. Let's do it this way, so the camera doesn't have a fit. This wall here lines up directly with this front suspension, so all of this front section. So this rover I've basically split up into 3 sections. We've got the front section, we've got the middle section, and we've got the back section. The middle section is slightly smaller than the other 2 sections, but that's not a problem. But this middle section, like I said, is going to purely be for that. We're going to have cargo in the middle, and we're going to have a bit of a living quarters, I think, in this section, which then will go up higher to where the bridge will go. Possibly over this side, I haven't decided. Maybe. A hydrant storage back there with all the fuel, just, you know, I want something over the top just to protect it. And then these side bits, basically these 2 wings, I'm not going to put more ships like I've done on this side, so I don't really know what I'm going to shove in there. Currently, there's going to be... Actually, I could shove batteries there. We do need batteries. And it would be quite nice to put the batteries at the back to weight down the back, because currently the front is very heavy. That's a good idea. I should listen to myself more often. You definitely shouldn't listen to yourself. Cargo. You ignored me. I did ignore you. Temporary blocks, let's place them like that. Okay, so that's all 12 boxes there. And I really like the fact that this lines up so nicely with the floor. I do indeed. I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to raise the floor up, but I'm not going to do it in heavy armor because there is no point. I think we're going to go up to a half block above. And that lines ports up here actually really nicely and really nicely spaced out for possible use cases. I don't know what use cases these may be, but they definitely allow me to pass cargo up to somewhere else above. Okay. So that gets a lot of that done. But it's starting to come together, right? I think you guys can see the sort of idea. You know, being able to wander in. All my ships are just parked up in this part. I can venture on forward. I can go up or down these stairs. You know, get into the engineering bay. The dark, dingy dungeons of the working sides. We've got places up to keep an eye on all me stuff that's going on both sides further along. Again, I've got even more stuff. I've got the connections which will be here, the connections that will be across, the connections which will go into all of these bits. All looking nice. We've got all of the big cargo boxes, so we're going to have another little ramp up here. Be able to bypass it, go all the way around. Be able to get inside, keeping an eye on everything. All this back section, all this hydrogen. All that little holes in the floor which allow me to slowly take damage. All this back section which will be used for something. Again, don't know what the use case of these wings will be yet, but we'll have these sections which we'll be able to access from this middle section here. We'll have some way of going up to this section which will have a bridge. I don't know where we'll have a bridge, how high or what, because nothing says I have to have it directly on this level. I could have it, you know, could have it, I can't really place blocks, but sort of here, couldn't I? You know, have a 1 or 2 blocks and then have the bridge that goes sort of forward like that, you know, that way and like that, and it goes up, which may make these turrets look a little bit more in place. But overall, I am honestly really happy with the progress we're making to this rover now. I think we're really getting there. I think we're certainly working out the main infrastructure, and that's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to design each individual part of this rover until I'd got the entire design built and make it all flow exactly how I want, so I know exactly how much space I'd have inside. And then from there, I can work everything out. And I just think these doors are really cool. Still, just, you know, fly in, get sat out, you know, sit down, relax. I guess this middle point is a bit of a waste of space. But, again, this row is massive. We've got this little hidden door where we've got the rotor, so it's tucked into the armor, so it shouldn't take too much damage. It should always work. These beautiful little windows at the front which allow us to look out. Sure, they're not going to be the most armoured again, but the chances that someone shoots directly through here and it hits something vital isn't very high. I'm probably even going to have some kind of extra wall here. So even if a shot does come through, it's just going to hit the wall. But yeah, it's a cool design. And this all came about purely because I wanted to mess around with really cool custom suspensions, which have come a long way. From what I wanted to do to what I've actually done, it's certainly changed, but I think it's changed in a cooler way. I think if I built this entire rover out of light armor predominantly and then just had heavy armor in certain sections, the suspension designs would have, you know, coped a little bit easier. And that's not me trying to say that my designs there was a big problem with them. That's more just, I think, the amount of weight that I've been expecting this build to weigh is pushing the limits of the game for things like the hinges, like I was saying. But yeah, I think it'll look cool. And the last thing I'm going to do before I end today's video is I want to just show you this particular look right here. This is one of my favourite places to be around this vehicle. Down at the base layer when the suspensions are actually, you know, these aren't even fully up, but you can go higher than this. But this is roughly where I want it to sit at, like, normal. So these suspensions will be able to go down further and also compress right up to pretty much that top part there. But look at the scale of this bad boy. It is good. I love the bits of detail. I like the heavy armor. It's going to look so good once you've got the weaponry sticking forward. And I've got a script planned which will mean that if my turrets are idle for a certain amount of time, they'll just go to their default straight positions. And then when they get into fighting, they'll, you know, turn all that. So I think it'll look cool. Yeah, it just runs all the way along. We're going to have rovers suspended on these side bits. These massive wheels. The only thing I haven't worked out yet how to do, or I haven't chosen an exact place to put it yet, is some kind of access ramp from the ground. Like I was saying, there's a chance that I might put a ramp here, which just goes down, and that could be for small vehicles, or it could be an access ramp for me, for a character. And I think that might be what I do. I think I might make it like a one panel, perfectly lines up with that, and then it just folds down, because it can be a 45-degree slope. It can be that, I can climb that. And then if I do need any small vehicles, like small rovers and stuff on this base, which don't attach to either side of that, I can use one of the carrier ships, which I'm going to design, and just pick them up. And maybe that's what I do. Maybe I have some space in here, or maybe I set up some of these to be like a grinder pit. And I don't know. That's an interesting idea. I could have a grinder pit. I could indeed have a grinder pit.
No energy.
You have no energy. But that's where we're going to end today's video. So hopefully you did enjoy today's video. If you did, as always, remember to hit the like button. It helps me out more than you think it does, and shows this series is one you want to see continue in the future. As always, my name has been Quantum Chief, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!